In the quiet hush of early morning, a figure rises before dawn, embracing discipline while the world still sleeps. Hands fold in prayer, making choices guided by faith rather than fleeting desires. Outside, seeds are pressed into the earth, their growth almost imperceptible, yet persistent and sure. This contrast between the slow, steady rhythm of growth and the rush of modern life sets the stage for our journey. Today's culture often celebrates instant gratification, urging us to seek quick results and immediate rewards. Yet, God's way unfolds differently, rooted in patience and daily discipline. Through this process, true strength and lasting purpose are cultivated, shaping lives that endure beyond the moment. Delayed gratification, from a biblical perspective, is the practice of exercising patience and self-control in anticipation of a greater reward. Hebrews 12:11 reminds us that no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. Similarly, Proverbs 14:29 teaches, "Whoever is patient has great understanding, but one who is quick-tempered displays folly." These scriptures highlight that waiting and self-control are not forms of suffering, but rather acts of sowing. Much like a farmer who plants seeds and patiently waits for the harvest, believers are encouraged to invest in the future by trusting in God's timing. The effort and restraint we practice today lay the foundation for blessings and growth tomorrow. Every day, we are faced with choices that test our priorities. Samson, driven by immediate gratification, often chose fleeting pleasures over lasting purpose. In contrast, Joseph remained steadfast, consistently aligning his actions with a greater calling, even when it meant personal sacrifice. This distinction highlights a crucial habit: choosing purpose over pleasure. For Christians, daily decisions to pursue spiritual discipline, rather than momentary satisfaction, gradually shape character and destiny. Over time, these choices determine whether we rise to new heights or remain bound by our impulses. The path to elevation is paved with intentional, purpose-driven actions. Habit 2 centers on training the flesh, drawing inspiration from 1 Corinthians 9:27, where Paul describes disciplining his body like an athlete preparing for competition. Just as athletes commit to rigorous routines to strengthen their muscles, spiritual discipline also requires consistent effort and perseverance. Visualizing runners pushing through fatigue or weightlifters building strength helps us understand how discipline develops over time. In the same way, engaging regularly in spiritual practices, such as prayer, meditation, or fasting, gradually strengthens our self-control and resilience. Discipline is not innate, it is cultivated through repeated, intentional actions. The more we exercise it, the stronger it becomes, enabling us to align our lives more closely with our spiritual goals. Habit 3 centers on fasting as a powerful tool for self-control, drawing inspiration from Isaiah 58. In this passage, fasting is described not merely as abstaining from food, but as a spiritual discipline that leads to breakthrough and clarity. By willingly setting aside physical desires, individuals create space to focus on deeper spiritual needs. Fasting helps to quiet distractions, making it easier to hear and respond to inner guidance. It strengthens resolve, allowing one to master impulses and cultivate discipline. Through this practice, faith is deepened, and a sense of spiritual strength emerges, empowering individuals to overcome challenges and grow closer to their purpose. Habit 4 centers on financial delayed gratification, a principle deeply rooted in biblical stewardship. The parable of the talents illustrates this concept, as the servants who wisely managed and grew their master's resources were rewarded, while the one who buried his talent gained nothing. This story teaches the value of saving, investing, and making prudent financial decisions rather than seeking immediate rewards. In today's world, this might look like consistently setting aside a portion of your income, resisting impulsive purchases, and avoiding unnecessary debt. Over time, these small, disciplined actions can accumulate, leading to greater financial stability and abundance. Just as the faithful servants in the parable multiplied what they were given, modern individuals who practice delayed gratification often find themselves better prepared for future opportunities and challenges. Habit 5 is about learning to say no today so you can say yes to greater things tomorrow. This principle is often seen in the lives of disciplined students and dedicated workers. who make short-term sacrifices for long-term success. It's a habit rooted in wisdom and foresight, choosing to delay immediate gratification for future rewards. This idea is powerfully illustrated in Hebrews 12:2, which describes how Jesus endured the cross because of the joy set before him. By focusing on what lies ahead, rather than just the present moment, we can make choices that lead to lasting fulfillment. Living with the future in mind helps us prioritize what truly matters and align our actions with our deepest values. Habit 6 centers on establishing daily disciplines that nurture both spiritual and physical well-being. This includes practices like morning prayer, meditating on the Bible, regular exercise, and setting boundaries for screen time. By integrating these habits into our routines, we create a foundation for growth and resilience. Proverbs 21:5 reminds us that the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, highlighting the power of steady, consistent effort. Even small, intentional changes can accumulate over time, shaping our character and leading to lasting transformation. Through daily discipline, we set ourselves on a path toward a more abundant and purposeful life. Habit 7 centers on the practice of delaying emotional reactions, a skill that fosters greater self-control and wisdom. Proverbs 16:32 states, "Better a patient person than a warrior, one with self-control than one who takes a city." This verse highlights the strength found in patience, suggesting that true power lies not in impulsive action, but in thoughtful restraint. By choosing to pause before responding emotionally, we create space for clarity and understanding. Emotional discipline helps us avoid unnecessary conflict, make wiser decisions, and cultivate inner peace. Over time, this habit contributes to spiritual maturity, allowing us to respond to life's challenges with grace and composure. Ultimately, mastering our emotions enables us to lead more harmonious and purposeful lives. Trusting God's timing is like watching a tree grow its roots deep beneath the surface. Though we may not see immediate results, this unseen growth is essential for the tree to stand strong. Similarly, an arrow must be drawn back before it can soar forward, reminding us that periods of waiting are not setbacks, but preparation for what lies ahead. Psalm 27:14 encourages us to wait for the Lord and be strong, assuring us that patience is rewarded. Habakkuk 2:3 echoes this promise, stating that the vision awaits its appointed time and will not delay. In these moments of waiting, remember that delay is not denial. It's God preparing us for His perfect plan. Habit 9 focuses on cultivating long-term thinking and maintaining an eternal perspective. Rather than being driven by fleeting pleasures or short-term gains, Christians are encouraged to set their sights on lasting rewards. In 2 Corinthians 4:18, Paul writes, "So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal." This verse highlights the importance of living for a purpose that transcends immediate gratification. By prioritizing eternal values over temporary desires, believers are reminded to make choices that reflect their faith and ultimate hope. Embracing this habit can lead to a more meaningful and purposeful life, grounded in the promise of things that endure beyond the present moment. Habit 10 emphasizes the importance of surrounding yourself with disciplined people. Proverbs 13:20 teaches, "He who walks with the wise grows wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm." The company we keep has a profound impact on our habits, our lifestyle, and ultimately our destiny. Wise friendships and godly counsel encourage us to make choices that align with our values and help us grow in character. In contrast, worldly distractions and negative influences can pull us away from our goals and lead us down unproductive paths. By choosing relationships that inspire discipline and integrity, we set ourselves up for a life marked by purpose and fulfillment. The people around us can either lift us higher or hold us back, making it crucial to choose our companions wisely. Habit 11 centers on self-control, a vital fruit of the Holy Spirit as described in Galatians chapter 5:22-23. This passage highlights self-control as a sign of spiritual maturity, showing that it is not merely a personal effort, but a result of divine empowerment. Through the Holy Spirit, believers gain the strength to resist temptations and break free from patterns of addiction or harmful behaviors. Instead of relying solely on willpower, they experience a transformation that comes from within, guided by spiritual conviction and support. This inner change enables lasting freedom from toxic habits, as the Spirit nurtures discipline and resilience. Ultimately, self-control through the Holy Spirit leads to a renewed life, marked by healthier choices and a deeper sense of peace. Habit 12 centers on the powerful principle of delayed gratification. By choosing patience and self-control over immediate pleasure, we open the door to lasting rewards such as financial stability, spiritual maturity, inner peace, strong relationships, and a deep sense of purpose. These outcomes are not just practical benefits, they are also rooted in God's promises. Psalm 1 describes those who delight in God's ways as trees planted by streams of water, flourishing in every season. Proverbs 3 assures us that trusting in the Lord brings favor and guidance, while Jeremiah 17:7-8 compares the faithful to trees with deep roots, unshaken by drought and always bearing fruit. Embracing delayed gratification aligns our lives with these promises, allowing us to experience God's blessings in every area. Discipline is more than a daily routine. It is the preparation for the destiny God has designed for each of us. Delayed gratification is not a denial, but a divine shaping, molding our character for greater purpose. Picture a craftsman refining gold, patiently removing every impurity until it gleams with brilliance. In the same way, God uses discipline to refine our hearts and strengthen our resolve. The journey may be challenging, but every sacrifice is a step toward the extraordinary future He has promised. Let faith be your guide and perseverance your companion. Embrace a disciplined Christian life, knowing that each moment of obedience draws you closer to the destiny God has prepared. The choice is yours. Step forward and let your life shine as a testament to His purpose.